Hello, I'm Deb from Fabulous Places. I started my business back in 2008, and in 2009 I took an opportunity that was presented to me and held my first in-person event. I think you could say I got the bug for events from that day on, and that's where my event journey started, and that's when my business changed as well. Over the years, I've held many events, some smaller, maybe 30 stall holders in a gorgeous little manor house in the middle of Derbyshire, right through to 130 stall holders in a large scale event with visitor numbers exceeding 4,000 each day. I love all sizes of events. I think there's something so wonderful from taking a blank piece of paper and creating an event that you're stood on the entrance of and watching people come in so excited to be there. I also love gathering small creative businesses. The community feel at the markets is so special. What I've done is gathered some hints and tips, and I've also spoken to some stall holders and also some visitors to my events to gather some information that I think will be helpful to you as we get back into in-person events. It does feel a little bit like we're possibly a bit rusty and we're starting again and everything feels a little bit new. So hopefully this video will give you some really good pointers to make the most of your in-person events this year. My first piece of advice would be to do your research. There are lots of events to choose from, but not every event is right for every stall holder. So making sure that you're investing in the right event to begin with will save you a lot of time and also a lot of money. To research an event, I would always highly recommend that you visit the event as a visitor and then apply for the next event. You'll get a real feel for the event, and also you can talk to lots of the stall holders that are there and get a real good idea for the event and whether you feel that that's the right one for you to apply to. You can also reach out to the stall holders on the stall holder list if you know any of them. I know that the community that I work in are really helpful and would welcome any questions and would give their honest advice. And also, I think it's really important if you have any reservations to reach out to the event organiser. If you have been considered and they've sent you the application form, then I would like to think that they think that you are right for the event. But if you have any questions, I would always reach out to them and just ask for their feedback. This is by far the most important part. How much will it cost? What do you have to pay to be at that event? And by the end of running through all of these costings, you'll realise whether it's actually feasible and worthwhile for you to do it. If you've attended events in the past, then you'll have a basis to work from. But if you're working from a blank page, working out your costings down to the very last detail is so important. So first up, how much is it to attend and what does that include? So whether it's an event or whether it's a trade fair, it's an investment and it can go from a very small amount to thousands. So it's really important to know what that fee includes and what do you get, and do you need to pay more to get all of the things that you need to showcase your business. What travel is involved? Travel costs money. Some events can be on your doorstep, others you may need to travel an hour, maybe 2 hours away. So it's always worth checking how far it is and planning that and how much that will be. Staff, is the event something that you can do on your own, or in reality you are going to need an extra pair of hands? Having an extra pair of hands is always important because if you don't have that, it's very difficult for you to leave your stand at any point. So even to go and grab some fresh air or to go to the toilet, you do need that extra pair of hands to relieve you and to make sure that you're not leaving your stand unattended. So all of these things cost money and they all need to be noted down so that you can see what the actual end costing is something that is feasible for you. Planning is also incredibly important. I would always recommend never rush and just book an event. Always have that moment to plan out exactly what's involved. And this can be from how far is it away? In reality, how long is it going to take you to get there? Are you going to have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, or do you need to stay overnight? Do you need help? How much stock will you need? Is it feasible for you to create enough stock to attend? So all of these things need to be taken into account. Do you have a car big enough to fit everything, or do you need to hire a van? There's so many things that you need to think about when planning for an event that even from my point of view, it's exactly the same really. Everything has to be planned to make sure that it goes exactly how I want it, and also just to stop me having those moments of stress that if I had planned properly from the beginning, I could have avoided it. So always plan, and I've included a planning sheet as a document at the bottom of the workshop page to give you some little prompts to help you plan for your next event. Since 2009, I have seen this journey of how the stall holder display area has changed from what was a tabletop design right through to pop-up shops, recreations of areas at home, staging, bringing in beautiful seasoned styled areas. The competition for creating a beautiful space at an event is fierce. The thought and creativity that goes into some of the stands that I see at events is wonderful. They are captivating and they work. I think taking time, so going back to notepad and pencil and planning out your stand, making sure that the visual merchandising is spot on, that you're displaying everything in the best possible way. It looks professional, it looks like you've taken care to create it. It's not just products that have been taken out of storage boxes and popped on a table. Visitors expect that visual, enticing experience, and part of that is to create this curb appeal that entices a visitor to come over and, most importantly, spend. Branding your space is important for many reasons, but mainly because it gives confidence to the visitor that the store that they're shopping with is legit. It also helps them recognise businesses that they already know. But more importantly, what you need to do is make sure that the beautiful branding that you have on your website, on your packaging, on your flyers, that translates through to your stand. What you don't want are these two disconnected entities, one being this beautiful online presence that somebody has been following for months, maybe years, and then when they see that you're at an event, they come and see you and you're nothing like what they expected. You need to connect the dots and make sure that this beautiful business translates into a beautiful stall at an event. Lastly, I highly recommend that you practice creating your stand and setting out all of your products. This will save you time on the day, but it will also reassure you that what you have in mind and what you're building, when you put all of the bits together, it's something that you can create in a short space of time during a setup at an event in a venue. Also practice popping it all into your car, make sure that you can fit it in, or if it's essential that everything goes, do you need to hire a van to make sure that you can take all of your stand structure and all of your products to a market? It's really important that you practice and you have a few goes at it, but you will find, and again, don't put too much pressure on yourself, because you will find that as you attend events, the more that you attend, you'll find that you refine everything and you become better and quicker at setting up and deconstructing at the end of the day. So it is a process. Go with it. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, but do practice, because it definitely can highlight any issues that might cause you a challenge on the day of the event. Making a good impression is so important, and this goes side by side. So what you want to do is make a good impression to the visitor, and you also want to make a good impression to the event organizer, because if you've enjoyed it and you want to go to the next one, you want to make sure that you're going to be invited. So the first thing I would say is to make sure that you stand out from the crowd for all the right reasons. So make sure that your stand looks visibly beautiful, everything is displayed perfectly, everything is priced, everything looks just how you hoped it would and how you planned for. Be ready. So this goes right back to the moment where you need to arrive to set up. Arrive on time. Be ready to set up your stand at the right time, giving yourself enough time for when the event opens, so that when people start arriving and they're starting to browse, you're ready and you're not throwing stock behind the stand because it's all a bit of a panic and you've not given yourself enough time. Make sure that your card reader is booted up and ready to go. Make sure everything is priced. Make sure all of your packaging and your flyers are ready to give to visitors when they buy. Make sure that everything is just as it should be. Make sure that all of your housekeeping has been done. You've gone through your risk assessment. That's all good. You've not got any wires, stock boxes where people can see. Just make sure that you're looking the best that you possibly can and you're good to go. I've added be present because this is from an event organiser's perspective. You've invested in an event, you're putting in a lot of time and money and effort to be there. Make sure that you're present. Make sure that you're available if people need you, if they've got any questions, that you're not bombarding them with questions, but you're available and they feel that they can approach you. I always add this one because since starting my event organiser's journey back in 2009, I've seen people leave their stands, sit knitting behind them, sat on the phone having a conversation with someone, and I've witnessed visitors come up to the stand, browse, notice that the stall holder is just not there, or they're not making eye contact, so they're not approachable, and they walk away. It's so detrimental to your business and also the way that people look at your business, and going forward they'll probably only remember that from you. So that's why I add this, because I've seen it so many times that be present, enjoy those maybe 4, 5, 6 hours that you're at the event and make the very most of them. Making the most of your day at an event is so very important. From an event organiser's point of view, there's so many elements that make up an event that they can be all so valuable to a stall holder. So yes, essentially, the main reason probably for you to book onto an event is to make money. But don't focus solely on that. Do remember that there's all kinds of different things that you can get that bring value to your business, and you can get those only from being at in-person events. They give you a great opportunity to talk to shoppers, not only shoppers, to talk to your customers, so you have them in front of you. These are the guys that have probably bought from you. You can do all kinds of things that give you great product research. You can show them things that maybe you're working on. You can talk to them about products. Ask them, would you like that if I made it personalised? What about this in this colour? Would you mind? They won't mind. They are your customer. They probably follow you on social media and they're spending their hard-earned money with you. So do chat to your customers. Give them the opportunity to give you some feedback, because it will be invaluable. Product research. Now, this is so important. A key part of any successful business is product research. Researching that the product that they're planning to launch is going to sell. So maybe if you're attending something in summer, and I know that with my markets I get lots of repeat visitors. They are loyal visitors to the markets. They love all the stall holders. They're even to the point where they're friendly with so many of them. They will give you great feedback about your products and will be absolutely overjoyed that you're asking them for that. So if you're planning something for the next season, why don't you ask them some questions, show them some samples, actually take that moment, if you have time at the event, to get that really valuable feedback from people. I do know that a lot of stallholders do this, and it helps them plan for the seasons ahead. Data capture. So by this I mean ensuring that the person that stood in front of you and is buying from you, you have a way of keeping in contact with them. Now, I I'm not a big fan of giving my email address to everyone. When I go to a shop now and they ask for an email for an e-receipt, I just don't want to do that, because I know that it possibly comes with a risk of receiving lots of other emails that I don't want to get. So by data capture, what I would try and do is give them the option to join your mailing list. So whether you have a little clipboard or a notebook, or you have a little iPad that they can pop their details in, that's really good, because obviously we know if we have a mailing list and it's valuable data of people that have shopped with us, that's a really, it's like gold really, and we can keep in contact with them. But also make sure that you've got flyers or something on your stand where they can keep in contact with you as well. So if you have your Instagram or your website, make sure that you're sending them away with that information to keep in touch with you. So if they don't want to join the mailing list, they'll take your flyer. This is something, as an event organiser, I have always done, because I know that at the end of an event and the morning after, I'm still totally exhausted, and I'll probably forget all of the little things that I thought, must remember that, must make a note of that. So I always make a note, and it's always something I work from when I'm planning my next event. So from a stallholder perspective, I would always recommend recording your sales, and this needs to be broken down even further from how much you take in total to how much stock you sell, and what stock you sell in the first hour, what sells out, what's really, really popular that you could have sold 10, 20 more of. It's always useful to know, because it's a really good basis to work on for the next event. Take more of a particular thing, because as soon as we're an hour into the event, they've all gone. Record feedback that you've found really interesting and something that maybe you'd like to take on board. So all kind of constructive feedback is so helpful as a small business, because we can be so consumed in working by ourselves and doing what we do, that actually hearing things from other stallholders and most importantly customers is so crucial, and can help us make little changes to make sure that we are continuing to produce what they want to buy. Make a note of your thoughts on the event. You've got to enjoy the event. Little things that, as you go through the day, things that you notice. Maybe you're waiting for the event to open and you just spot another stallholder using this, amazing trolley, or they're setting things up in a certain way. Make a note of that, because that's part of the process of being a stallholder. It's not that you're copying. It's just taking a little bit of inspiration that you then can turn and change into what would work really well for you. I know that happens a lot at the markets. It's a really supportive community, and I feel that lots of stallholders do have those moments before the event opens, and they come and go, "Your stand looks great. How did you do that? That's wonderful." Or, "Where did you get your trolley from?" All of those little things, make a note of those, because it's all part of the process of every time you attend an event, you change something and you make it work more efficiently.